Okay, it's all yours.
Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth H. Doolittle said in 1942 that nothing is stronger than the heart of a volunteer. And for some, this statement holds little weight. For this particular soldier, and more importantly, my father, it's his driving force. The reason to the question, why do you do what you do? My name is Pete Nelson. I'm from Senatobia, Mississippi. I'm currently enlisted in the United States Army Reserves, which explains why almost all of this speech will be about the military. It's all I've ever known. Uh, Patrick Michael Nelson was born July 11th, 1965, to Patricia and Walter Nelson. He was born in Savannah, Georgia, on Tybee Island, and loved to spend his time on the beach. Um, Patrick Nelson graduated with an associate's degree from Marion Military Institute, and immediately afterwards went to Fort Knox for OBC. He married Lee Harris Nelson on July 18th, 1987, and became a father on June 5th, 1989, to Mabry Ellen Nelson, and then later to myself and my younger brother, Patrick Ryan Nelson. Uh, my father now resides in Senatobia, Mississippi, works for the Northwest Community College Library, where he's the network administrator. Patrick Nelson has served selflessly for 20 years now, and has reached the rank of major. He was the company commander of the 173rd Quartermaster down in Grenada, Mississippi during his first deployment to Afghanistan in 2003. During this time, he received the Bronze Star for his service. He was deployed again in 2006 with the 365th Combat Sustainment Support Battalion, and now he is currently in Fort Jackson preparing for his third deployment back to Iraq, also with the 365th Combat Sustainment Support Battalion. Growing up in a military family is not easy. Missed birthdays, graduations, and anniversaries were pretty much the epitome of my life. I know without a shadow of a doubt that if he could have been there, he would have been there. While Patrick Nelson was company commander in the 173rd, he was allowed different privileges. He was allowed to stay in hotels while enlisted personnel got to stay in barracks. He was allowed phone calls when others didn't know when they would see a phone next. He was also allowed to leave for lunch instead of eating the Army chow. And if you don't know anything about that, soldiers would probably rather eat their boot. But my father never did any of these. And his reasoning behind it, even though we wanted him home with us, he said, "I will never make a soldier do something I'm not willing to do myself." And to this day, he has stayed true to that word. My fondest memory of my father was in 2008 when I raised my right hand in protection of this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Since he was an officer, he was allowed to be there to swear me in. And I'll never forget the gleam in my father's eyes as he held back his tears while he stood in front of the podium and made me repeat after him. My mother, of course, cried her eyes out. In the military, there are 7 Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. There is no doubt that Patrick Nelson exhibits all of these values in and out of uniform. You could ask for a father who would be there for your birthday. You could ask for a father who would be able to teach you how to drive. You could ask for a father who will watch you walk across the stage at graduation. But my father is Major Patrick Michael Nelson, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Thank you.